India. We have a lovely day here today, hot and sunny, just a few clouds dotted around, and it's a beautiful blue sky. And you had a look at the pitch a little earlier, Jim. How was it?
Good morning, Richie. There's still a fair bit of moisture in the pitch, but that should disappear pretty quickly. If the openers can get through the early overs, then they should be able to build a good total, as the pitch will be great for batting. The bowlers need to keep a full length early on to try to take advantage of the moisture in the pitch. A tough call, perhaps a good toss to lose. Back to you, Richie.
Trescothick is going to face the first ball of the match. It's in the air.
Well, he really hit that a long way. Exciting stuff.
It's straight at Sehwag. Srinath to Trescothick. It's in the air. Trescothick moves into double figures with those runs. That over cost 11 runs.
He didn't keep it very tight during that over at all.
Well, let's take a look at the scorecard. These are the bowling figures. Srinath has finished with figures of 10 overs, no wicket for 78, 327 runs required. Good stroke for 4. That's the first boundary for Sehwag. So they need 323 to win from 300 balls. Three 23 runs required. Short and smash for 4. Crowd were brought to their feet by that shot.
Well, he smashed that for 4 with a big smile on his face. India will be looking to blast away from the start with fielding restrictions in place.
The run rate stands just under 6 and over. to 8. All the way. That's the first boundary for Tendulkar. 315, runs required. Stopped by India, no wicket for 12. Carrick to Tendulkar. .315, runs required. That's speeding to the boundary. You can't afford to bowl that in there.
He really needs to concentrate on line and length right now to keep the runs down. India will be looking to blast away from the start with fielding restrictions in place.
The run rate stands at just under 6 and over. That's cleared the infield. Sehwag moves into double figures with those runs. A nice shot, but it won't make it to the boundary. Thorpe just picks that up inside the rope. The total is .269, runs required. Goff at the start of his run-up. He's got it into the gap. Carrick to begin a new over. The required run rate is looking more and more out of reach here. The score is now no wicket for 59. Amazing catch.
Slight fumble, but safely taken in the end.
Tendulkar goes for 28.
He looked to be in good form out there. He really should have built on that good start.
Laxman is the new batsman. Carrick takes the first wicket of the innings. Those are the first runs for Laxman. The batsmen are coming back for 2. Picked up on the boundary by White. There's a mix-up with the batsman. They can't afford to go throwing away wickets. .42 overs are left in the innings. Goff to begin a new over. The required run rate has crept up to around 6 and over. Great shot by Sehwag. There was a nice bit of timing.
There's a perfect example of how to play that shot. He deserved 4 runs for it.
1 now for 65. Goff continues. Stopped by Thorpe. Goff continues.
Good bowl. Bring the batsman forward and make him play.
261 runs required. Sehwag is now facing. Laxman waiting at the striker's end. Goff at the start of his run-up. Carrick to begin a new over. The required run rate has crept up to around 6 and over. Carrick to Sehwag. That's gone high in the air. That's a real textbook shot.
That was an excellent shot. Very exciting to watch.
Carrick is back in the attack. That's racing away for 4. That clattered into the boards.
Well, a delivery like that really is easy pickings for any quality batsman.
A long hop and punish. The crowd really enjoyed that shot.
Really good shot there. Nicely timed and picked the gap perfectly.
That's the end of the 10th over. Goff to begin a new over. Now the run rate stands at just over 6 and over. They have 40 overs to get. 247. Shot. That is beautifully played. Sehwag raises his bat to the crowd to acknowledge the applause. That's 50 for Sehwag.
He'll enjoy this moment.
Goff continues. Stopped by Thorpe. India move on to 85. Goff to Laxman. He's worked that into the gap. The run rate stands at just under 6 and over. Stopped by Hussain. There's a mix-up with the batsman. He looked as if he was home to me. One now for 86. Laxman has said no to another run. Superb shot. That's the first boundary for Laxman. 38 overs are left in the innings. Goff to begin a new over. The required run rate is looking more and more out of reach here. Cracking stroke. Looks in good form now, Peter.
The bowler didn't do too much wrong there. It was just an excellent shot.
Goff at the start of his run-up. It's straight at Flintoff. There's a mix-up with the batsman. I think he was easily back in the crease there. The score is now 1 for 94. A hopeful shout, and the batsman was easily in. Goff is back in the attack. Overpitched and thrashed away. Just overpitched by Goff.
That was a beautiful front foot shot. The timing was spot on.
So they need 228 to win from 224 balls. India move on to 99. Goff is back in the attack. That's straight up in the air. Well, that was 6 as soon as he hit it.
The bowler doesn't look too happy about it. There might be a little bit more in the next one.
15 runs were picked up from that over by Goff. We're about to see the first bowling change. The run rate stands at just under 5.5 and over. Not timed perfectly, but they'll get some runs anyway. They have 37 overs to get 2-1. Sehwag is now on strike. To 1 runs required. That's straight up in the air. The second wicket pair have moved their partnership on to 51. Steered expertly into the gap. The batsmen are after 2. .215 runs required. Hit straight to a fielder. Goff to begin a new over. The required run rate is around 5.5 and over. Laxman moves into double figures with those runs. Flintoff reaches it before it crosses the boundary. India are 1 for 114. Laxman didn't look comfortable against that short ball.
He really had the batsman in trouble with that one.
So they need 212 to win from 211 balls. Super wicket keeping. So they need 212 to win from 211 balls. These are the bowling figures. Goff now has figures of 8 overs, no wicket for 68. Well, let's take a look at the scorecard. Sehwag is now on strike. The required run rate has crept up to around 6 and over. Not timed perfectly, but they'll get some runs anyway. India move on to 116. Giles to Laxman. .211 runs required. Giles continues. Steered expertly into the gap. Stopped in the covers. The score is now 1 for 117. Sehwag facing. .34 overs are left for India. Goff to begin a new over. The required run rate has crept up to around 6 and over. Not timed perfectly, but they'll get some runs anyway. You'd beaten all ends up by that one. Goff is back in the attack. It's straight at Trescothick. The fielder will cut that off. Sehwag is now facing. Oh, that is an excellent shot by Sehwag. That was a shot straight out of the coaching manual.
That was good cricket from the batsman. He placed it, didn't try to hit it too hard.
The score is now 1 for 122.
Run!
33 overs are left in the innings. Giles to begin a new over. The required run rate is looking more and more out of reach here. They have 33 overs to get to 05. Played into the gap. Goff out there in the deep. Steered expertly into the gap. One for 126. So they need 201 to win from 194 balls. Sehwag facing. Steered expertly into the gap. Giles at the start of his run-up. We're about to see a change in the bowling. The required run rate is looking more and more out of reach here. He's got it in the gap. India have taken their total on to 129 and Sehwag is now facing. A long hot and punish. That really was super.
Lovely front foot shot. Head over the ball, wrist in front of the bat as he played through the line.
1-1 now for 133. Should be some runs here. Laxman is now facing. Stopped by Trescothick. Giles to Sehwag. The required run rate is around 6 and over. That's gone high in the air. That was 4 the moment it left his bat.
The bowler can't have too many complaints about seeing that ball disappear to the boundary.
The total is now 1 for 138. Giles to Sehwag. Giles to bowl to Sehwag. It's in the air. He must be starting to think of 3 figures now. India are 1 for 142. It's in the air. Oh, he's dropped it.
They might give him a hard time about that one back in the dressing rooms.
This over is proving rather costly to England. Stopped in the covers. That's the end of the 20th over. Carrick to begin a new over. The run rate stands at just under 6 and over. He looked as if he was home to me. That's straight up in the air.
He smashed that a long way. Great to watch for the neutral, but the bowler won't be too happy.
Sehwag is now on strike. It's high in the air. That was sheer power.
Exciting stuff. He took a risk, but was well rewarded as the ball disappeared over the fence.
And 70 runs required. The fielder will cut that off. Now the run rate stands at just over 5.5 and over. Well played, but the fielder will cut that one off. The batsmen are looking for 2. Picked up by Goff. So they need 167 to win from 172 balls. Laxman has now moved into the 20s. Sehwag facing. Played, but the fielder will cut that one off. The crowd are giving him an excellent round of applause. There's his century.
He's played really well out there and deserves a century.
For 161. Laxman waiting at the striker's end. Hit straight to a fielder. The required run rate has crept up to around 5.5 and over. He's worked that into the gap. The batsmen are coming back for a second. Great shot by Laxman. Laxman is looking to punish any short deliveries.
Well, he got everything right there. Footwork, hands, kept his head down, kept the ball on the ground. Nothing better than that.
Carrick to bowl to Laxman. Laxman facing. That's 4 runs. He really struck that well.
That was good cricket from the batsman. He placed it, didn't try to hit it too hard.
So they need 155 to win from 163 balls. So there was 11 off that over. The required run rate is around 5.5 and over. It's in the air. They have 27 overs to get 154. It's straight at golf. The batsman was in trouble with that delivery. Laxman is now facing. The fielder will cut that off. Carrick reaches it before it crosses the boundary. So they need 152 to win from 157 balls. Tucked off his legs. Laxman is now on strike. The required run rate has crept up to around 5.5 and over. That's too short. 4 runs. This batsman won't miss anything that's short.
Well, that was much too short from the bowler. 4 runs.
The total is now 1 for 180. Four all the way. Just over pitched by Carrick.
Really good shot there. Nicely timed and picked the gap perfectly.
Carrick to bowl to Laxman. Stopped by Giles. He looked as if he was home to me. That That's the halfway mark, 25 overs. Giles to bowl to Laxman. The required run rate is around 5.5 and over. Played into the gap. Sehwag waiting at the striker's end. That's over the infield and racing away for 4. That really was excellent timing.
That's not the right line to bowl to this batsman. He'll punish anything there.
137 runs required. He's worked that into the gap. Laxman waiting at the striker's end. He's worked that into the gap. The batsmen are coming back for a second. .133 runs required.
You're right, Richie. That was excellent running by the batsman, and it really puts pressure on the fielders.
That'll be 4 more to the total. Magnificently cut away for 4 by Sehwag.
That was a gift for the batsman.
1 now for 98. Giles to bowl to Sehwag. .13 runs came from that over. There's a change in the bowling for England. The run rate stands at just under 5 and over. That's straight up in the air. He found the gap with precision.
Really good shot there. Nicely timed and picked the gap perfectly.
India have taken their total on to 1 for 202. Goff to bowl to Laxman. Played into the gap. It's been a really good innings by Laxman. Laxman has reached his 50 from 61 balls. Batsmen are coming back for a third. He's going to have to move here. Well taken by Stewart.
Yes.
The score is now 1 for 205. Goff to bowl to Sehwag. .23 overs are left for India. The required run rate is around 5 and over. The fielder will cut that off.
Wait.
Sehwag facing. That's straight up in the air. The second wicket pair have moved their partnership on to 151. Gone bowled. That was a superb delivery.
Too late now. It went straight through the gate.
Sehwag is finally out for 124, getting a wonderful and well-deserved standing ovation. Dravid is the next man in. Giles gets his first wicket. India are 2 down now for 210. Hit straight to a fielder. We're about to see a change in the bowling. The required run rate is looking more and more out of reach here. Steered expertly into the gap. Stopped in the covers. There's a mix-up with the batsman. He was pushing his luck a little there. That's a lovely way to get off the mark. The batsman will have to run these. The total is now 2 for 213. White to Dravid. Stopped by Thorpe. 21 overs are left for India. Giles to begin a new over. The required run rate is looking more and more out of reach here. The fielder will cut that off. .113 runs required. Dravid is now on strike. That's 4 runs. That's the first boundary for Dravid. India are 2 for 219. So they need 108 to win from 122 balls. Giles to bowl to Dravid. That's a great shot. He picked the length quickly with that one.
That was good batting. He picked his spot, didn't try to smash it, just stroked it through the gap.
The total is now 2 for 223. Stopped by Thorpe. That's the end of the 30th over. White to begin a new over. Now the run rate stands at just over 5 and over. White at the start of his run-up.
That's good cricket. Well bowled and well played.
The batsman will have to run these. He looked as if he was home to me. That's a big hit. It'll go all the way. Oh, the bowler won't like that one little bit.
The bowler won't like that one little bit.
White is back in the attack. These are the bowling figures. The bowling figures for White are 2 overs, no wicket for 10. Giles to begin a new over. Now the run rate stands at just over 5 and over. Batsmen are looking for 3. The sweeper picks up. Two for 2, 3, 4. There should be some runs here. These are the bowling figures. Giles has completed his allotted overs with figures of 10 overs, 1 for 64. White begin a new over. Required run rate is looking more and more out of reach here.
That was a loose shot. He himself about that.
Goes for 18. The new batsman is left-handed Ganguly. Ganguly facing his first ball. He's really given that a whack. 6 runs. That went a long way back into the stands.
Well, you can't set fields for shots like that. That's brilliant.
I think he was easily back in the crease there. That over cost 8 runs. We're about to see a change in the bowling. The required run rate is around 4.5 and over. That's gone high in the air. Ganguly moves into double figures with those runs. That's beaten the fielder, but it won't go all the way. So they need 79 to win from 100 balls. Well played, but the fielder will cut that one off.
Go!
16 overs are left for India. White to begin a new over. Now the run rate stands at just over 4.5 and over. Super wicket keeping. Hit straight at Flintoff. He looked as if he was home to me. That's straight up in the air. White was not impressed.
He dispatched that for 4 with great confidence.
72 runs required. White continues. Well, that'll beat the fielder. Ganguly has moved into the 20s and is starting to look far more relaxed. That's the end of the 35th over. Flintoff to begin a new over. The run rate stands at just under 4 and over. Not timed perfectly, but they'll get some runs anyway. The total is now 3 for 260. A nice shot, but it won't make it to the boundary. Didn't quite get hold of that one properly. There it goes. You can't afford to bowl that in there.
What a good placement. No one at home, over the top for 4.
So they need 61 to win from 85 balls. Flintoff at the start of his run-up. It's in the air, just over-pitched by Flintoff.
Well, superb straight drive there. Good footwork, good hands, lovely straight swing of the bat.
14 overs are left in the innings. White to begin a new over. Now the run rate stands at just over 4 and over. Not timed perfectly, but they'll get some runs anyway. That's straight up in the air. And that really was a super stroke.
He gave the batsman too much room there. 4 runs.
Ganguly is now facing. That's straight up in the air. Dropped.
At this level of cricket, you really can't afford to drop your catches.
India are 3 for 275. It's in the air. I certainly saw that one early.
A bit uppish, but safe enough, 4 runs.
There it goes. India move on to 280. There'll be runs here. "13 overs are left for India. Flintoff to begin a new over. The run rate stands at just under 3 and over. Laxman facing. There'll be runs here. "45 runs required. Ganguly facing. It's in the air. These two have now put on 50 for the 4th wicket. A nice shot, but it won't make it to the boundary. He looked as if he was home to me. Flintoff at the start of his run-up. The batsman will have to run these. That's straight up in the air. He hooked that for 4 with no trouble at all. "12 overs are left for India. White to begin a new over. The run rate stands at just under 2.5 and over. They have 12 overs to get 35. White continues. Steered expertly into the gap. Stopped in the covers. White to Ganguly. There it goes. Hasn't been easy by any means, but he can enjoy this moment. That brings up his half century. That's good bowling. That's straight up in the air. He's timing the ball perfectly today.
Great shot. That seemed to rocket to the boundary.
It's high in the air. Thorpe is underneath it and takes it comfortably.
Straight down the fielder's throat. The batsman will be kicking himself.
Ganguly has gone for 55. That was a useful innings by Ganguly.
That was a really valuable knock for.
The next batsman is Badani. That over helped the run rate somewhat. The new batsman won't face for the time being. The required run rate looks a fairly comfortable 2 and over. Flintoff at the start of his run-up. The batsman will have to run these. India have taken their total on to 4 for 302. Badani is off the mark. Laxman facing. He's got it into the gap. It's high in the air, and he's got away with it. That's the end of the 40th over. The required run rate looks a fairly comfortable 2 and over. That is a perfect line. It's straight at Caddick. He looked as if he was home to me. Laxman is now on strike. That's gone high in the air. There it goes. Oh.
That's a bad miss. He did the hard part by getting into good position, but put it down.
A very good over. Only 2 off it in the end. Flintoff to begin a new over. The required run rate looks a fairly comfortable 2 and over. Flintoff at the start of his run-up. Play it away with comfort. The batsmen are coming back for a second. There's a mix-up with the batsman. Laxman is now facing. Stopped by Giles. A long hop and punished. Flintoff is not impressed.
That was beautifully played. He was well over the top of the ball.
Now for 313. He's got it into the gap. Flintoff at the start of his run-up. Eight overs are left in the innings. Laxman is now facing. The required run rate looks a fairly comfortable 1.5 and over. Superb shot. Oh, that really was a super squat.
That was an excellent shot. Very exciting to watch.
Now for 318. Stopped by Hussain. Badani is now facing. White to Badani. There it goes. That's the first boundary for Badani. Flintoff to begin a new over. The required run rate looks a fairly comfortable 1 and over. Oh, he's put it down.
He seemed to completely misjudge the speed that ball was travelling at. Perhaps he lost it in the background.
Overpitched and 4. He picked the length quickly with that one.
He plays that shot really well and it brings him lots of runs.
So to sum up then, India win by 6 wickets. Let's take a look at how the innings has gone so far. Flintoff now has figures of 6 overs, no wicket for 43.